Hey team, so today we're going to talk about why it's so important to go back to foundation or base training after a big goal, a priority race. All right, just passed a group of 3 equestrian riders coming down the hill, mentioning they just saw a bear up the trail. So hopefully, maybe we can get you a bear sighting today. And I think the leader of the group was a guide. So I asked her if it was a black bear, and she said yes, but cinnamon. So I never quite know with people. A lot of times our black bear are actually brown bear here, but officially a brown bear is considered a grizzly and a black bear is considered a black bear. But many of our black bears here are brown in color. Well, we've got some beautiful colors, and I'm getting up out of a lot of the heavy dense forage, and I suspect it's a warm morning, really warm, and my sense is that I passed where the bear was because I don't think he or she would be out in the open in this heat this early. I think they would have been closer undergrowth and a little bit further down the trail. So I've got a punchy climb. I'm headed up to the ridge you can see up there and doing some running about up there. So first time up Taylor Mountain this year. Beautiful colors. So got the first real punchy climb over with. I've got one more to the ridge and on my way to Taylor Mountain in the background there. And I'm taking it super easy because I am now back into my base building phase. I had a big race a couple weeks ago, had a 5-month really specific training block. Now it's going back to building a foundation again. And many athletes during this time, especially when it's in the summer, can kind of be fearful of going back to base building by fear of losing all of their fitness. And that's just not the case. And we're going to dive into why it actually will help you continue to elevate your fitness and continue to layer on bricks to improve your overall ability and like what I like to call potential. So that fear, that common mistake of wanting to not lose fitness and keep pushing and keep pushing, you're gonna just dig a really deep hole that's hard to get out of. And there's a lot of chatter out there about how important, getting your recovery is physically after a big race. Most people have got that dialed, but what they don't understand is it's not so much the physical recovery we need after a big race, but the mental, the rejuvenation for the brain so we don't get burnt out. And that is what's so important and what can commonly happen when we think we got to keep pushing after that race to maintain our fitness or to not lose that fitness. Okay, there's our punchy climb. I'm gonna go up the trail and then go right along the ridge for a while, running about, and then come back and do the peak and back to the truck. So if you train super hard and super detailed and super specific and structured for your big race, again, remember or take on the mindset that most of the recovery required is for the brain, just to give you that rejuvenation time after such a big buildup. And again, especially if you're going into summer or you have a lot of running left after the seasonal race, you want to give the brain a rest. And that is getting excited about going back to foundational building and not being fearful that you're going to lose everything you've built up. And that's, you know, where I'm in the mountains, there's a peak behind me. That's sometimes the philosophy of peaking for a race. So if you're building up to a big race and really looking to peak and be at high level of performance for that race, hey, we don't want to maintain that the whole time, or it wouldn't be considered a peak. So wherever there's a peak, there's a little descent and there's a little valley, and that's where the foundation starts again. That's where every peak starts, at a valley. Okay, so don't be fearful of losing what you've gained. It's your body and your brain never forgets what you've done. We're just going to build upon it, and that's the key. 2.5 miles to this point, 1,500 feet of climbing, and almost 9,000 feet. So got a bit of ways to go yet. So this whole concept is a little easier said than done, right? I want you to think about something. If you peak for your race, you're at a high level of fitness, you get a little recovery, now you go back into your base building. What's in place? Now, because of peaking and being at this high level of fitness, your strength, your speed, and endurance is at a high level. So now you're going back into base building faster, stronger, with better stamina. So that base building speed and strength and endurance is faster than maybe it was earlier in the year. That's how we can continue to layer bricks, build a better foundation for the future. And another way to manipulate your base building during this time, unlike maybe early season base building where you've taken a lot of time off and have to slowly build your long run as an example, now based on your high level of fitness, even though you're reducing the effort, going back to a lot of base building long runs, we can start our long run at a longer distance. Therefore, maybe you look to maintain a longer distance long run more consistently through this base build, rather than doing the traditional stair step of each week it gets longer. So for example, you know, maybe early season, the first base build phase, you start with 90 minutes and then you go to 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Again, based on what type of runner you are, but this is just an example. Now, maybe you can start right at the 2 hour mark and stay consistent for 2 hours. And then build to 2.5 and 3 and stay consistent doing more of those. And maybe even look to increase your volume throughout the week. So you're maybe switching your mindset from only increasing your long run to increasing your volume throughout your entire week. Or start with a higher volume week and maintain that for 3 or 4 weeks. So there's many ways to manipulate this and do it in a way that gets you motivated and excited to go back to base building. With my athletes who did races earlier in the year, again, they took a little bit of time off, but now that we're going into summer and they have that peak level, I don't need to start them way back at base 1. I can start them with a little bit more volume and work from there. What do you know? Grand Teton. What a day. It's even warm up here. Hitting the descent, and then I'm going to go down to the Y and then take this climb up to the peak. So getting back to base building, it's good light here. It's been in the shade the whole time. Anyways, this going back to base building during this scenario is a perfect time to work on your speed. I mention all the time, and especially in the last few videos, part of base building includes speed and strength running as well as endurance. And many athletes just think it's about building endurance again, but it's about building neuromuscular speed. So this is a great time, if you do not work on speed during foundational time, to work on your speed. And when we talk about speed, we're talking about efforts under 30 seconds. Okay, there's a misconception out there of what speed training is. And once you get over about 30 seconds, some would argue even less than that, you're diving into more of a strength type of workout or a speed endurance type of workout that comes later in the specific phase. So during base building, when I mention speed training, we're talking 10, 15, 20 seconds of very, very fast running with lots of rest. This is neuromuscular. This helps your body fire muscles and muscle fibers quicker and faster to help you become a better athlete and a better runner, a better, faster runner that then springboards into helping other parts of your running. Okay. And it's hard to go fast or to get faster unless you go faster. So this type of really fast but short intervals, again, trains your body to get used to running much faster. That then translates into more specific types of speed endurance workouts that come again later. So get motivated for this time and see this as an opportunity to go into base building again a little bit more fit from your training in a race in this scenario, and then be motivated to maybe get a little bit faster, run a little bit faster, and really getting your body used to running faster. That again will actually help your zone 2 stuff as well. It helps create efficiency and economy. That's all part of that base building foundation. And again, remember, talking about zone 2, much of the dysfunction that takes place, muscle tightness and aches and pains and all those stuff we've been brainwashed to think that are kind of common as runners, takes place when we're running easy, when we're doing our zone 2 stuff, when we zone out, we're not focused on our form, we're too sloppy, our leg stiffness isn't very good. So this speed training helps that economy and that efficiency and leg stiffness, which is a good thing, that will help you be stronger and more healthy when you're doing your easy, long endurance type of base building runs within this base building phase. Downhill. So I've worked hard all winter and all spring for my race, and now I just get to play in the mountains, take it easy, relax a little bit. Even though I love running up mountains really fast and hard, today's the day just to relax and have no urgency and just enjoy, hike a little bit, look at the scenery, and just relax. Taking a right hand up to Mount Taylor. Almost. Another good shot of the Grand Teton. Idaho over there. There's the sun. Wow, just at the right angle. Anyways, so thanks for coming along on this climb up to Taylor Mountain. Over and out from Taylor Mountain, Jackson Hole, Born to Run World. See you guys. Over there is home.